Okay, we're just gonna go for it. We've got a 2015 MacBook Pro, and I'm doing this, I guess, upside down on the screen, but we'll figure it out. The plan is to go ahead and open her up. And we're gonna change out the thermal paste. This guy has dual video cards, which I believe make it run maybe a little more warm than usual. It's got an AMD something or other in it. And the fan ramps up all the time. So I thought I would do a video on me replacing the thermal paste on it. This laptop is new to me. I've probably been using it for 3 weeks. And I got it as a non-working machine. I was able to get an operating system back on it. However, it took me several hours. I probably have 4 or 5 hours into it already, and it's before this little shenanigan. So we are adding the time into it, but you know, it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. It's a little bit dirty. One of the first things I'm gonna do for this one is remove the battery. Not remove the battery, but I should say unplug the battery, because I don't want anything to try and turn on while I'm working on it. Okay, so that's unplugged. You might be able to see it there a little better. Just checking. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I don't know, you can zoom in or something. But the goal will be to get this whole heat pipe section off. And there's just enough stuff here to where I might take a break and go watch a different video on how to do it. I believe these guys kind of come off. And then again, I see. I see lots of little screws that I should be getting after. And neither of the fans needs replacing. Been able to test them quite a bit. I'm probably really in the way. And I'm gonna orient the screws roughly in the way that I took them off. That way I can kind of keep track. I'm expecting these to all be the same T5 head. The one thing I remember about these is you've got to be really careful not to bend the heat pipe. So we'll be sure to be extra special careful. And then we'll do the processor. Looks like we'll only have to take 2 of these off. The tension on those springs is impressive. It is impressive. So now, what I would suggest is you kind of try to wiggle it off. But I also have to make sure that I've got everything done here. So I just pulled up a little bit on this side, and the whole heat bar is actually rocking. So I'm just letting that do its thing. That's come off. Oh. Okay. Oh. This is how those work. Maybe I didn't need to move the fans off. Hang on. I don't think the fans even need to come off, because I've got the bar going here. Of course, if you were doing a fan repair or something like that, you'd obviously want that off. Okay. I see one thing over here that could be related, which is the silver screw. I'm gonna just try removing that and see. Yeah, that got us a lot more. So that side's free. Oh, it is this one. This one here that's just covered up by this little plastic bit. It's rubber, I should say. And then what? Yeah, then like that will come up. And this side over here just kind of rocks out. And there you go. Oh, even though I tried to clean this out, it still needs a decent burst in there, so. Yeah, I was able to just actually blow it out. It's not bad. So now I'll be able to clean these up and apply the new thermal paste. And then that will make it run quite a bit better. I just know that it will. I might put these fan screws back in just so I don't have them out. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and then come back with part 2. So this is gonna be the cleaning section where I actually clean the processors off. And basically, I'll start out just by adding pressure with some paper towels to clean these. There's some goop in here. So even as you can see, I don't have any kind of special cleaner that I'm doing. As silly as it may sound, I might use a bit of Windex, but it would be, I wouldn't use Windex. I'm not even doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get one kind of polished up here and then just move on to the next. Which this paste still has some greasiness to it. So it's possible that this might not work out as great as I'm hoping, but the thing is I know it's old, so it's probably gonna help. I want that to stay. These are like little sticker barriers or something. The other thing that I got is toothpicks, which are great at removing this bit around the edge. And then, of course, the wood is non-conductive. You know, because it's like not metal. So I don't have to worry about really hurting anything. There's still some under the sticker, but it's been there. I'm just not worried about it. It's not going to cause any issues. And really, I just need to make sure it's off the die. So you want your surface to be as clean as possible. And you can see with just a simple paper towel, I'm able to get a mirror-like finish on these. Then we'll move on to the actual heat sink and see what we can get just rubbing this stuff off. And it looks like we're getting pretty good results here. You don't want to use too much pressure because these things are so thin and fragile. And I feel like I can even feel it bending a little bit under the pressure, so I'm just trying to be really careful. This on this GPU is quite crusty on the top here. So there, you can kind of see. I just don't really like the way that looks. So make sure and get what you need. And then, man, I feel pretty good about it. You could go on and clean this with rubbing alcohol and other stuff as well, but I think that I'm happy just the way this is. So we're looking at dropping this back on there, and the amount that we'll need is going to be very small. And I've got this like giant spreader, but this is supposed to be pretty good stuff. It's Master Gel by Cooler Master. They've got these ratings on them, and this one happened to be 11. Most are 3 to 4, and they even go up as high as 12. There's been a bunch of different sort of methods that I've seen and studied posted, and it looks like the best method is to try and get an X formation because you get the most dye coverage, but these are so small, my spreader is like bigger than different parts of it. So I just want to make sure I get good coverage on it. It's just not spreading. That's gonna be, I feel like, far too much, but I am using a different toothpick as well, just so you can rest assured. This is gonna have more sort of squish out than I'm hoping for, but it is what it is. I mean, I need there to be enough there for the contact to be made. And anyway, it does not need a whole lot. And then we're gonna put this back on. Cool. Just applying a bit of pressure. To make sure the spread happens, and then I'm gonna put these pressure clips back on. And if you mess up that Wi-Fi card, I don't know, it wouldn't be that fun to replace. Like, we wanna have a good time here, right? We wanna make sure we're having fun when we're in our Macs. Dude, that's it. Okay, so then I'm gonna flip these things back over. They've got these little silicone kind of hooks that go onto the heat pipe some kind of way. They look like they just sit there. And get that one back on. I just kind of want them back in place. And then we're gonna plug the battery back in. We can even do that. Boom, got it. Take it easy. So. Okay. Move these things sort of over here. It's all the used Bettys. Place this back on. And then I'm actually gonna just boot it up and see what happens because it's got two little clips in there. It starts up, right? That's good. Let's see if video comes up. Excruciating time. Okay, so I'm gonna click that. And it already seems to be doing better at managing that heat. So I'll keep an eye on this and we'll go over the results. And ultimately, I know this is gonna make a difference. This was running in the straight 90s before, and it really didn't want to come down. So this fan seemed to be more effective for sure. And that's it. That concludes another one. 17%, I need to plug this in. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. I fully expect to get some hate on the way that these look. I would prefer that this looked a little bit better, but I mean, just using a toothpick is kind of, oh yeah, the crunchies.